Hello everyone and welcome to SkillCapped. I'm Notorious Dub, and with all the economy changes we've been seeing in Valorant, we are now seeing a huge shift in the pistol round buy meta for each agent. So in order to clear up any of the confusion, I'm going to be going over the current pistol round buy meta for each and every agent in Valorant based on pro and high level Immortal and Radiant gameplay, so you know exactly what you should be buying in what situation to help you be as effective as possible on the most important round in the entire game, pistol round. But before we get too deep into today's video, just like always, we have to start with our question of the day. And today I want to ask you guys, what do you think about the ability price changes so far? Personally, I'm kinda loving it. My Razes and Sovas aren't wasting their Roomba and Drone at the beginning of the round, and it seems like everyone is being a little more careful with their utility instead of just throwing out immediately everything they have at the beginning of every round. But it does put more stress on the economy, so when you get behind, it feels way harder to dig yourself out of holes whenever you start losing. But I'm sure you guys have way different opinions than me, which is exactly why I want to hear from you. So let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about the ability price changes so far in Valorant? Now let's kick this off with the brand new agent KO. Now KO came into the scene with his flash being 250 credits, just like everyone else was nerfed to, being the now standard for flashing abilities. Which means the only real meta option for KO is a ghost and one single flash on pistol round, because light armor won't actually get you any extra utility with the extra 100 credits you'd get for it, and going for double flash in your grenade seems to be a little too glass cannon for most high level players. Or because they all just love the ghost because it allows you to punish players at a further range and it just rewards aim better. And remember, if you're serious about improving, then go to SkillCapped.com to unlock our hyper improvement system that will teach you how to win more gunfights, master your agent, and so much more. It's also backed by our rank improvement guarantee, so you really have nothing to lose. So come join over 500,000 satisfied members of SkillCapped, improve that KDA, and get the rank you've always wanted at SkillCapped.com. Link is in the description below. Next up, we have to talk about Raze, because with the credit changes, they hit her pretty hard, with her Boombot now being a whopping 400 credits to purchase from 200 previously. And currently, a ton of people are going for Ghost and one Satchel on pistol round, which isn't much different from before with those Ghost users, but unfortunately that leaves you with the problem of not being able to buy Boombot on your next buy round if you lose pistol. Instead, we're seeing a large portion of people going for Boombot double Satchel with no armor, that way you have that insane utility spam potential to close out pistol round, or you just have your Boombot in your back pocket whenever you really need it, because it can be a round changing ability. And of course, you can always go for double Satchel light armor for those of you entry frag Raze that love flying into bomb sites over everyone's head. And then we have Sage, who's one of those agents who was nerfed across the board, meaning her slow orb and barrier orb are now 100 credits extra apiece. This makes the standard light armor, barrier orb, and one slow orb buy non-existent, and the ghost barrier orb no longer possible. Which means Sage on pretty much every situation should go for light armor and barrier orb, because the wall is so hard to break through on pistol round and it gives you a ton of time to plant and defuse to close out those rounds. And we'll only really be seeing ghost on Sage at this point if the person is insane with the ghost, because they are giving up their wall, which is their best ability by far, aside from maybe her res in certain situations. And then we have Omen, who is actually buffed by the ability price changes in some way, because it allows you to get your flash for 300 credits instead of 400 and still be able to get a ghost, because a ton of Omens were having to miss out because that flash is very powerful. But of course that makes you miss out on your second smoke, because everything else about his kit was nerfed in terms of price. So you'll have to buy light armor, your second smoke, and paranoia to get that typical light armor Omen buy that we were seeing last patch. Next up we have Jett, who was hit really hard with the ability price changes, meaning the Ghost Updraft and double Cloudburst combo is no longer possible because of the increase in prices. Instead, in my Immortal games and a ton of pros right now are going all in on the first round deagle that we were seeing before on Jett, because even if you die, it puts the Sheriff on the map so you can get it back on the next round to save up for your operator. Other than that, we're seeing people go for light armor, Cloudburst, and Updraft for the more consistent play, and only really a Ghost and one Cloudburst if the person is insane with the Ghost. Tens. Unfortunately, next up we have Phoenix being nerfed entirely with the price increases, putting his curveball at 250 credits as the standard for flashes now instead of 200, meaning light armor Phoenix doesn't make much sense anymore because you're forced to go without your second flash anyway. So instead, the overwhelming majority of Phoenixes in high elo are going for Ghost and one curveball for that extra kill potential, and because this is what the slight majority of Phoenixes were doing last patch anyway. And then we have Reyna, whose flash was also increased by 50 credits, which isn't going to have too much of an effect on the pistol round buy meta because most people went for Ghost and one flash anyway, and that's what you're going to be sticking with this patch too. And then we have the rest of the Reynas that go for the extra overheal and Ghost on occasion if they plan on just hard carrying based off of their aiming ability, and then light armor double flash is really no longer an option, so you have to go for that Ghost if you want to be the most consistent as possible. And then we have Brimstone, who is mainly affected because you can't really get your incendiary, all 3 smokes, and light armor on pistol rounds. So instead, we're seeing Brimstones on attacker side picking up incendiary, 1 smoke, and light armor so they can set up for their lineups to stall out post plant and close out those pistol rounds. And then on defender side, Brimstones are buying Ghost or Frenzy, and then all 3 smokes for that extra firepower for defending and retaking a bomb site with extra smokes on hand. Next up, we have Viper. With the Snakebite price increase from 100 credits to 200 credits, and with this change, the standard double Snakebite, Poison Orb, Light Armor is no longer a thing. So instead, the standard is becoming Light Armor, Snakebite, and then your Poison Orb in most cases, and double Snakebite, Poison Orb, no armor being the go-to on attacker side on certain heavy post-plant maps like Icebox. And you can also go for this double Snakebite, Poison Orb buy on tight funnel maps like Split or Bind to make the attackers have a very difficult time going through choke points or ever getting the bomb down in the first place. And then we have Killjoy. She's one of those lucky agents who wasn't actually hit by the ability price increase at all. And most Killjoy players are going to be going for the Alarm Bite, Nano Swarm, and Light Armor for that full delay potential like always. And you're only really going to be going for the Ghost if you're one of those players who lives to swing off of your turret when it makes first contact at long ranges, like if you're playing A main on Ascent. And then we have Cypher, who's another one of those agents who was very lucky to have his ability prices completely unchanged, which means we're going to be seeing most Cyphers sticking with their 1 tripwire, 1 cyber cage, and your Ghost to finish off anyone stuck in your tripwire, Jett nowadays, or the standard light armor, 1 tripwire, and double cyber cage for those people who love the classic or just want to play up close in their cages on maps like Split. And then comes Sova. Sova was nerfed across the board when it comes to ability prices because the standard Shock Dart, Owl Drone, and Light Armor is no longer a thing. Which means with the whopping 400 credit Owl Drone now, it's really only being bought in high ranks against Viper on pistol rounds and in certain scenarios for fast rushes. And the standard go-to nowadays for most people is going to be Ghost and double Shock Dart because you're going to get most of your value out of those Shock Darts for post plant or just stopping the enemy from coming through that choke point initially. Next up we have Breach, and he's honestly one of the most buffed agents in this entire patch and is going to be shifting heavier into the meta as people get comfortable with the new speed of his kit. Breach's flash now is insane with the speed that it goes out, and his fault line is super fast with allowing you to be able to peek off of it, and the extra stun and spread is just that added extra benefit. And with the flash price increase to 250 from 200 as is the standard now, we're seeing Breaches opt for Ghost and 1 flash so they have that long range ability to take advantage of their fault line's buff. And since you can't get double flash and light armor anymore, you might as well go for that extra firepower to finish off those enemies because you're really going to be relying off your fault line because it comes out so much faster now, you can peek off of it, and it's so much more difficult to escape from the enemies. Next up we have Skye, whose abilities were increased astronomically in price, making her flashes an extra 150 credits apiece to 250, and her Trailblazer to 250 from 200 like before. Which means most guys are opting for Regrowth or Trailblazer and Ghost because light armor doesn't really get you any extra abilities anymore, and you need that extra utility because you only have 1 flash nowadays. So instead of 3 flashes on pistol round plus extra utility, Skye's now sitting on 1 flash and extra utility instead with a Ghost instead of a classic. And next up we have Yoru. With his blind being once again increased by 50 credits to the standard 250 for flashes, meaning light armor double blind side is no longer being a thing. Pretty much every Yoru nowadays is going for Ghost and 1 flash as a standard for the buy round meta for pistol round. And to finish this off, we have Astra. Now her pistol round buy was actually buffed, where most Astras were going for light armor and 2 extra stars or full 5 stars with no armor being a rare occurrence and somewhat meta in pro play. Now with the 150 credit star price, it frees up Astra to go for a Ghost and 2 extra stars on pistol round instead of a Ghost and 1 extra star on pistol round for those people who just love the Ghost. But you are still completely viable with 2 stars in light armor or your full 5 stars buy, but most people who are confident in their Ghost play are going for the more aggressive Ghost route, especially in high level Immortal, Radiant, and Pro play. But always remember, if you want to improve, win more gunfights, and get the rank you have always wanted, then check out SkillCapped.com. Link is in the description below. But let's be honest to close it out here, when it comes to pistol round, everything is personal preference. And if you're still a Frenzy god after the recent changes, or you just love the classic, feel free to stray from the meta for what feels right. And of course, let me know in the comments down below how you feel about the changes. And while you're down there, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn those notification bells on, because we here at SkillCapped have a ton more comprehensive premium guides coming your way that you're going to want to stay up to date with so you can stay ahead of the pack. As always, I want to thank you for spending this little bit of your day with us, and I'm Notorious Dub, signing off.